Well, welcome
Thank
to
you.
Stephen Curry.
Thank you, Caroline.
And also Boyd Hicklin, the director of Save Your Legs. And congratulations.
Thank you very much.
On a very, very clever film.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Yes, it's been a really exciting time for us. We're looking forward to it coming out and giving the world the chance to have a look at it and see if they enjoy it.
Well, I've got to say, I have seen it, and for the perspective that I am not a real cricket fan, I really enjoyed it, and I could be turned to
Good.
enjoy cricket.
Now, Caroline, can you tell me, did you find it was a nice little peek behind the curtain of what blokes are really like when they don't think the ladies are looking?
Yes.
Good. There we go. Because I find there's a little bit like that, so I'm hoping that there can be maybe some revelations, positive or negative, for the ladies to find out exactly what goes on behind the closed doors.
When the men are wearing their whites and having their little private time together, this is a little glimpse of what they get up to.
A little bit of sugar.
That's it. It takes away from guess who's got a whirlpool sort of.
Exactly. That's actually right. So so I'm glad you enjoyed it, Caroline, because that's we've tried to make the film as to appeal to as broad an audience as possible, and certainly not restricted to cricket fans. That's for sure.
Well, it certainly is, and look, you started with the documentary in 2005.
That's
and
right.
It was actually related to the actual club.
Yeah, the Abbotsford Anglers Cricket Club, the real deal. So in 2001, they went to India. They went to India and took on the world. They invented the candy stripe blazer and boater hat and cravat look that features in the film.
It's quite the look too, I think you'd agree.
I loved it.
I was part of that tour as well, so it was a life-changing experience, which is still, the momentum of which is still rolling today. So the Anglers are a real deal, and they're celebrating seeing themselves up on the big screen as we speak.
Fantastic. And so from the documentary, obviously, that you got a lot of interest. That's when you brought in Brendan Colwell, and he wrote the film.
Yep, Brendan came on board. The documentary was finished. He saw the doco and hooked up with one of the stars of the doco and the producer of it, Nick Batsius, and suddenly we had a little creative team. Myself, Nick, and Brendan. Brendan embraced the concept of India and cricket and the tour, and he's a bit of a mad cricketer himself. So we were able to share like minds and experiences, drag him around India and flea-bitten hotels and having an adventure, and suddenly we were writing scripts and getting into the serious development.
And of course he made himself the captain of the film.
Yes.
Wow. And you'll notice that he gets all the best shots as well. He said, then Rick hits a 6, then Rick hits another 6, then a 4, then a 4, then another 6. He certainly knows how to write himself with the good roles, that's for sure.
In an earlier incarnation of the script, Rick actually led a Ben-Hur style rickshaw race along the River Ganges with himself with his shirt off, an Australian flag flying above the rickshaw and causing some kind of massive pile-up. Yes,
it was always going to hit the floor that one, wasn't it, in the end?
Oh, how superb is that? That is great. So how did you come about doing the casting and getting Stephen, involved in this? Because, Stephen, you're fantastic in this role.
Well,
thank you, Caroline.
Yeah. Looking just for someone with incredibly angular good looks, that's what it was all about. It's really all about the look. His acting chops were secondary. No, it was it was about finding somebody who would bring the heart and soul of this Teddy Brown character, who was so full of love for his club and his game and his mates that he would go out on a limb and do something extraordinary in order to try and what he thought was the best way to keep it together.
The hero.
And the hero needed to be a hero that people can fall in love with, and I think that, look at him, isn't he beautiful?
Very seldom. If I had a dime for every time someone had called me the hero, I'd have 10 cents. But that's US dollars, and they're coming back too. So that's yeah.
And his name was conveniently associated with the major cuisine of India, so we thought that made sense as well.
Which leads me to a question. Did you obviously, like in the film, you got the Gurry Valley Did you get it in real life while you were there?
Very, quite heinously, I'll be honest. For 4 days. I'll tell you something. You know that the John Lennon song "Instant Karma"? You heard that song? Well, I've loved that song for a long time. I didn't know what the lyrics really meant, and I've worked it out now because Damon Gammo, who's a clean living, my body is a temple kind of person, started feeling a bit queasy one night. And as he went off to bed, he said, "Oh, I think I'm going to have to go and lie down." Brendan and myself had a good giggle. Now, you know, we love the man, but we couldn't help but have a good giggle at the fact that we had a beer in one hand, or eating nuts out of some bowl that had probably been there for a couple of days with the other going...
He's a non-drinker, isn't he? You thought
he's a non-drinking teetotaler who basically just, you should have been holding up very well. Anyway, within 12 hours, both Brendan and I thought we were going to die. Now, instant karma came and bit us as swiftly as it ever has on any individual or any duo who thought they were pretty clever. And yeah, so 4 days of that was something. It was something to behold. And the thing is, with film shoots, there's no sick days, so you kind of have to kind of get on with the job and do it as best you can. Boyd was very accommodating and allowed us plenty of breaks and plenty of places to lie down in between having to haul our weary bones onto set. But yeah, it was certainly an experience.
It's physically challenging, let's say.
Very physically challenging.
How long were you in India filming?
7 week shoot, and we were shooting six days a week, and an incredible feat of logistics covering the amount of ground we did. I think we really only spent, very rarely spending more than a day at a location. We were moving all the time.
Wow.
So the film gives you quite a rich cross-section of locations within India, because we really covered some ground. 3 cities.
There was such a credit to the local crew as well, because so much of our crew is a local crew, and they run like such a finely oiled machine that these kind of logistical nightmares can turn a film into a schmozzle. But it ran so smoothly, like clockwork, and you know, they're all such
Indian clockwork.
It's quite
exactly the time you expect it to be, but it's...
The moment you think it's all going to fall apart, it just somehow just comes together. I think on the whole, our crew, we were so fortunate with our Indian crew that we were just dealing with such experienced people and such people who have such a passion for what they do that it ran perfectly well.
Fantastic, because they make films every day in India,
unbelievable.
don't they?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. They know what they're doing.
It's bigger than Hollywood.
Yep.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I believe the output of films is something like double the number of films that Hollywood puts out every year.
Which are usually the similar story. It's a very, girl meets boy, boy meets...
Yeah, they all dance in the end. Yeah.
That's it.
But,
you've got a bit of Bollywood early, involved in this as well.
That's right.
Because you've got a love interest in this.
I do, and the very beautiful and talented Pallavi Sharda, who...
Beautiful.
Yeah, she's an Australian Indian girl who's actually she grew up here and went to school here, but has lived in Mumbai for the last 5 years and is now starting to make some real inroads in Bollywood herself. And she's just a gem and such a lovely person and such a talented actress and great dancer, like beautiful dancer. Yeah. And just can't say enough about her.
She kept the boys on their toes, I tell you. We were a travelling posse of cricket-loving blokes travelling through India, and then
she held her
Pallavi just to make sure we were on our best behaviour.
Yeah.
She was awesome.
She's one of the lads, don't worry about that.
Well, she turned out one of them.
Yes, indeed. But she was a great find, and just adds so much to the film, and can't say enough about her.
That's great. So overall, you've done extremely well with the casting.
Yeah, I think so too, Boyd. Yeah, great job.
A couple of mistakes.
You get through that'll happen.
And it's obviously getting well received. It got well received in India.
Yeah, we had a great screening at the Mumbai Film Festival in this massive theatre. I think it's a 1,000 seat room in India, which was packed out, and they're a great audience in India. They're very vocal in their appreciation of the film. If they don't like it, they'll let you know, and if they do, they will clap and cheer during the film. So we had this fantastic experience. It was quite a nerve-wracking experience because I was really keen that an Indian audience responded well, that they felt we'd respected India and we treated them with the love and respect that I have for the place would come through in the film. And they loved it. So we had some great reactions. Sachin Tendulkar he carries a bit of weight in India, that man. Every time he was mentioned, there was a cheer that went through the room. The fact that we were smelling his protector seemed to be fine with them. It didn't touch it.
That was going to be one of the dicey ones, wasn't it?
Didn't cross any cultural boundaries. That we had his nut protector on display as a trophy. They were a really positive audience. When the boys walked out to appear in India for the first time, the cheer went up in the cinema. It was really touching.
Wow, that's fantastic. So, you know, if this goes well, guys, are we going to have a number 2, Save Your Legs? Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about that, weren't we? About the fact we might go to Rick's wedding over in Barbados, and it might be Shave Your Dreads. You know, you never know what might be around the corner. We don't know. You know, in reality, it's all about kind of how this one goes, and we would love to. I mean, we've established a great team there that all you know, not only love working together but become very good friends as well. So it would be one of those ridiculously wonderful, joyous experiences again.
It'd be too much fun. Really.
And again, you get paid to play cricket, so that's not a terrible thing in itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be a great joy if we could.
Well, that's wonderful. I really applaud you in the film for your direction and obviously you writing it originally. And Stephen, well done.
Thank you,
again. You know, you keep, you know, going aces up in your career.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. You'll let me know if I start bottoming out or something like that, won't you? Okay, yes, that was a 2 of clubs, that one, unfortunately. But yeah, that'll be as long as we can keep doing it. I don't know, as much of a range of different things as possible. Then it you know, you can keep the joy and keep the job satisfaction and the pride in the work, I suppose. You know? Yeah. So hopefully people go and enjoy it and love watching it as much as we love making it.
Well, I'm sure they will. Australia's going to be, you know, treated to it. When does it premiere Australia-wide?
Feb 28. We're in cinemas around the country, so if anyone wants to go and see it, there's your chance. Feb 28, get out there, enjoy it, come out smiling.
Absolutely. And for everybody.
It's for everybody.
It's for everybody.
Yeah. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Caroline.
Thank you.
Beautiful.